Okay, so this is our June 18th meeting, and welcome all of you. Our, I want to welcome everybody. It is November 12th. So our last meeting. We got a little bit of snow, nothing major, but sign of the times to come here. We're going to end up with more snow using our snow scrapers. So we want to make sure that we're all up on our equipment. I know that we're going through that stuff currently to make sure that we're ready for the snow.
Danny, can you let Chuck in? He's waiting. He says it has to be let in.
Let's see where he is. Admit, it's Jerry. I don't see
Chuck O'Neill.
Chuck O'Neill.
Says please wait until the meeting host brings you into the call.
Chuck
Says he needs the host to needs to let him in.
I am not seeing him. Have him log out and log back in.
Okay.
Hang on, admit.
All right, I'll try.
Is that Chuck?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
Go ahead, try to log back.
All right, he should be good. All right, so our last meeting was held on June 18th. It was our DOT roundtable, and that was really informative. April 1st to March 31st is the fiscal year. The average out of service rating is 3.9%. That was for the previous year. The most items that they found were exhaust leaks and corrosion. So exhaust leaks, I know we had a lot of them where like the flex pipe would leak, exhaust clamps leaking. That was those were heavy hit items. The corrosion, we had rotted stringers and cracked stringers. Those were for the other ones. The highway prohibited decal was approved so that we can, because remember before we couldn't use the bus at all. Now we can get it at least to the repair facility. Reporting accidents within 12 hours of the accident. And we were told that there were no, I'll let somebody else in. We were told that DOT has not seen any fires on the electric buses due to the batteries. For other reasons, maybe, but not because of the batteries during charging and stuff. Schools are not required to sign off on tour buses. So if you use Premier or any of these companies, we do not have to sign off on those. And I think my next thing here is it keeps the liability with the coach company, and that's the reason for that. The coach company is responsible for providing a bus with a current DOT sticker on it. Full-size vans are prohibited for school transportation. We had 2 to 4 years. Oh, in 2 to 4 years, a third of their inspectors are ready to retire. So they are looking for help as well. They had, let me admit. Okay, Richard, this meeting is being recorded, so if you don't want to be on the video, just turn your camera off. Good morning, Christine. Yeah, they have 110 inspectors and 12 supervisors. There are currently 229. There's Chuck coming in again. 229 electric buses in service in New York. When reporting an accident, he went over all of that, and we had 12 hours to report the accident after the accident. And you have to report it if there's a loss of life, injury of any person that could be on the bus or in the car or the vehicle that is also involved in the accident, mechanical failure, smoke or fumes, or disabling damage. So if the bus can't finish its run, that's what he was talking about. And that was something that I know everybody had questions on, because they did change the rules. And that meeting was recorded and is posted to our YouTube channel. So if anybody has any questions or wants to watch that again, please do so and let me know if you have any questions, and I will make sure that your questions are answered. So after that meeting was June 18th, July 16th and 17th was our summer seminar out in Syracuse. It was well attended. We set it up a little bit different this year, and it worked well. We had several new vendors that were there and some good presentations. So, and we're always looking for new ideas, new ways to do these summer seminars. So we need your input. So please email me, text me, let me know what you guys want at our summer seminar. Any training, that's we need to know now so we can start preparing. The August 27th was our DOT training day, which we followed, and that was right at Shenandoah School District. We're thinking of maybe doing this every year. There was a lot of people there, and everybody seemed to get an awful lot from it. So if it's something that you guys would like to have each year, we can move it to different districts, but it's a good time to do it. It was August 27th, so school hasn't started yet, and it's just before school starts. And I think that it worked out really well from all the feedback that I got. So please keep the feedback coming if that's what we want to do. And again, we can move it to different districts or even vendors. We could use it there. I know previously they had it up at Leonard Bus Sales and different places. We had no meeting in September and October, so that gets us up to November, which is today's meeting. And our presenter today will be Chuck O'Neill with Bluebird Bus Sales. And again, they're going to go over the electric bus from Bluebird, the changes and updates since last year. I know the mandate still stands, so we've all got to be ready for this. So go ahead, Chuck.
Morning, Dan. Morning, guys. How's everybody this morning?
So far, so good.
Good. Sorry, computers are great when they work, but when technology doesn't work, it's not so great.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I had to sign in on my personal Google account in order to get the thing to work. So I'm going to try and share my screen with this, Dan, and make sure it works.
Yep.
When I was transportation director, we were a Google school, and I knew it front to back. And now with New York Bus Sales for almost 2 years, all this Microsoft stuff, it's all different at this point. So I'm going to try and share this and make sure. Can you see that now?
Yes, I can see it. We can also see all the there you go.
Okay. All right. Is that better, Dan? Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. Good. At this point, I lost your view, but that's okay. As long as you can see what I'm looking at, then that's great.
Yep.
So again, thanks for reaching out to us, and appreciate that with your work with Ben, and to try to work through this challenging time we've got on the EV side. I know you're not excited about it just as much as we're not. So
we're all learning.
We're not going to lie. We're not happy about it either. So but it is what it is. So we've got to do what we have to do.
Yep.
So where we stand right now. So as everybody knows, that the zero emissions remain active at this point. So the extensions that are coming, from what we hear right now, it'll be towards the end of December when these extension applications will be put on the state's website. We had a meeting last month with Inhosu, and so he said they were still actively working through the details of these applications. So from what we know, is basically the main thing with the districts. If you're going to apply for the first extension, the first 2 years, is to make sure your fleet electrification plans, your FEPs, are in place. So as long as that is done, you are 99.9% guaranteed to have a stamp on that first extension. So which is a good thing for most. And whether you currently have an EV fleet or not, according to INHO, he said that those extensions will be granted either way. So again, I guess that's a good thing. But just keeping in mind that 2035 deadline has not changed. So even though we're going to move out an extra 2 years to start, that 2035 point hasn't moved. But what I can say is that gets us one step closer to an election year. So, let's keep that in the back of our mind that hopefully maybe things might change if, a change in command happens. So, funding and guidance obviously continues to evolve. As we know that on the federal side that's been put to a halt at this point. But state money is still there and still available. So, I would still try to take advantage of any of that if you haven't already. At least look into it and see what can be done. I know there's been a lot of questions over what happens when, the public votes this stuff down. Then what? And trust me, it's already happened. So we don't really have a lot of answers to that side yet. But, all I can say is it would, whether you buy a bus from us or not, I mean, either way, the way we look at it is the worst thing you can do right now is wait till the last minute or do nothing at all. So at least if you put a bus on your proposition and it fails, you have something to go back to the state on. All right. As far as engineering and studies, Polera, which is a partner company of Girardin, which builds the Microbird product, works with the districts to go through their fleet electrification plans, see exactly what their districts can run, what their buildings can hold as far as power, and it can either be free or up to 75% funded depending on your district. So whether you're a priority district or non-priority district, that all matters as far as the funding on the Polera studies and your FEPs go. Any questions of anything up to this point? I don't want to be going too fast.
Nope.
All right, good. So where are we on the Bluebird side? So our shorter wheelbase models are available on the state contract on the EV side. So items 1 and 2 on the state contract. So basically you're looking at 28 passenger available on the state contract on the EV side. So far we are the only ones right now with an item on a C1 chassis on the state contract on the EV side. So that is not a bad thing if you're looking to start off with something a little bit smaller on the full bus chassis side. They're all available right now with a new Cummins battery pack. That's the 194 kilowatt hour battery pack. So which will add more range to the battery. I'm not saying it's gonna, it's not huge, but the new technology coming, they're hoping it's going to be close to 200 miles on a range. We have yet to see that yet, so don't quote me on that. That's not written in stone, but that's not a bad thing on the Cummins side moving forward. And then obviously it supports flexible routing and fleet planning. Key facts on the Cummins battery pack. So they're manufactured in Columbus, Indiana, in case anybody didn't know that. They're obviously everybody knows the Cummins product, so basically designed to support the durability and operational performance, and then aligned with the OEM production growth. So what's Bluebird doing on their side? So they're currently working on starting to break ground on their new manufacturing facility in Fort Valley, Georgia. So which actually sits right across the street from their main production facility. So they're looking at expanding that, and right now their current EV building is about 75,000 square feet. So they're looking to expand that across the road, and basically, I want to say probably bring that up. Right now, they're telling us maybe around 150 to 175,000 square feet to be able to produce, basically more product out of that facility than what they're producing out of the current one, which sits parallel to the current 900,000 square foot facility there in Fort Valley. So they're looking at development in alternative fuels and staying with electrification. So what we have now coming forward is the ability to precondition our batteries via level 2 or or DC fast charging. So those of you that may have a Bluebird Vision, so we can charge either a level 2 or a level 3 fast charge. So no matter where you charge the bus, you can plug, or wherever any EV vehicles are charged, I should say, you can plug the vehicle in and have it charged from there. So the cabin can automatically be preheated based on temperature. So that can be set from a computer program inside the transportation facility. And then basically what that would do is start the charger up. It would charge up the bus, and it would bring the temperature of the bus up to basically ambient temperature. Well, so once a driver got in, basically, windows were defrosted, and the inside of the bus would be heated for the driver. So basically enhances the optimization of driver and occupant comfort moving forward on the EVs. EcoTune. So EcoTune is our partner on the Microbird side. So there's new configurations available on the Microbird side. I'll show you in another slide here as we move on. So they're basically focusing on improved range and more technology and advancement expected as they're moving ahead. On the Microbird EV platform, so now new this year is the new battery pack offerings with up to 200-mile range. So currently we're at 140 kilowatt-hour battery, which is the standard battery now on the Microbird. It's 150-mile range. I can tell you on that one, we currently have one in stock that is a stock demo unit that we have. Last month, I drove that vehicle from our headquarters in Chittenango out to Schenectady, had a full charge. I got to Schenectady with 21 miles left on the charge. So it was warm that day. I had the air conditioning running. So it did a pretty decent job driving from Chittenango all the way to Schenectady. Our 175 kilowatt hour battery, that's up to a 200-mile range. I'm not going to lie, that battery is fairly expensive. You're looking at about a $40,000 option for that battery. It's an upfront cost. I mean, it is what it is, but just depending on, that's looking at routes and stuff. So depending on what you need it for, if it's absolutely necessary to buy a battery pack of that size. Again, you can do remote cabin. Sorry about that. I don't know if you can hear that ringing or not. We got phones ringing all over the place in here. Remote cabin preheating from a desktop interface, the same as the Bluebird Visions. And the EcoTune battery packs are built in Drummondville, Quebec. For those of you that might not know, Microbird opened up their new facility in Plattsburgh, New York in September. So this is the old Nova Bus facility in Plattsburgh. So this is currently a 175,000 square foot facility. And when they started in September, they were starting with just the commercial side. So basically white buses. In another month, they're going to start building our MB2 school buses out of that facility. And then moving forward, our G5s will start to be built out of Plattsburgh. So that's kind of exciting to kind of have that right in our backyard. And first Microbird facility in the United States. EV production will more than likely move to Plattsburgh in the future. So once they figure everything out in Plattsburgh, there's a good possibility of that moving into Plattsburgh, and then possibility of school bus production totally shifting into Plattsburgh sooner than expected. So they may not move the entire school bus operation into New York, but there's a good chance that 75-80% of school buses built from Microburg will be built in New York. So basically, it's strengthening their support for New York and for the Built in America initiative. What else do we offer on the EV side? So we do offer these Ford Transits. They're built by Primetime Specialty Vehicles out of Indiana. They're a fully DOT inspected vehicle, and seating up to 10 passengers, and 10 people, including the driver. So we do have quite a few of these around the state right now with school districts. So it's an alternative for, that $300,000 or so school bus. These are getting about 160 miles on a charge. And the one thing about these is they are not on a state contract, so they would have to go out to a mini bid, so say like a 7-day bid. But price range right around 115,000. So a significant difference between that and the school bus itself. Quick look at our Bluebird production timeline. So this is looking at an EV bus, a gas bus, and a diesel bus. So these are our current production timelines right now from order. So you can see our EV buses. This particular one was ordered on 7/10, ready to be picked up on 11/10. The Ford gas engine was ordered August 25th. Should be ready around January 16th. And then our diesel buses, this one here in particular, ordered on 10/8 and should be ready for pickup January 6th. So our timeline for all three fuels, this is about the same for our propane buses. So our timeline is pretty decent right now. There's my contact information. So if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to Ben directly. If you have any questions on anything else, please, again, don't hesitate to ask. We're here to help if need be with anything. That's pretty much all I have, Dan.
All right. Well, does anybody have any questions then for Chuck? John Hazelton.
Yeah, Chuck, I got a question. Well, actually, two
Yes, sir.
questions. On your service side with the EVs, how many, or not how many, but do you have techs trained and ready to go to repair these?
We do. So we have techs trained in Chittenango at this point. We have 3 of them, I believe, right now, and we have 2 of them trained in our Batavia location. We're working on training in Ravenna. So and also we've got our support with Cummins. So if anything we can't handle anything, then we can certainly get the bus to Cummins to be have any service work done on that end.
Okay, and my next question: when they're not in warranty anymore, as far as Bluebird or are they ever going to train outside people or only factory trained people that belong to your organization?
Yeah, so no, we've talked about that, John, moving forward. Right now, the warranty on the batteries and the Cummins driveline on the EV side is 8 years. So obviously, it's new enough to where thank goodness we haven't gotten to that 8-year mark yet. But that's one thing that we have looked at moving forward is training folks in the district that currently have the EV products.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, of course.
Hey, your Ford Transit that you spoke about,
Yes, sir.
do you have those that can be used as buses?
So they do use them for transport right now, like your Suburbans or your Dodge Caravans or some of those similar, Dan. So we have a couple of districts in the western part of the state. Canton Central Schools just had one delivered this week. So basically, door to door, you just can't obviously, pick up on the street and such. But yes, they can be used for transport from home to school.
Okay. Now, you spoke about a 194 kilowatt battery pack.
Yes.
And then you also spoke about a 175. You said the 175 kilowatt battery pack is $40,000.
So that's on the microbird side.
Okay.
So that's the 140 is the standard right now. So the 140 was moved up from the 88 kilowatt hour, which was the previous battery on the microbird.
Yep.
So the 170, or excuse me, the 140 right now is the standard on the microbird side, and the 175 is the optional.
How much is the 175,000?
So the 175 is the 41,000 and change. I can get you an actual price on that too, Dan, if you want.
Well, what we're finding with these electric buses is that they can say that they've got a 200-mile-hour or 200-mile range, but once you have to turn the heaters on and stuff, it cuts that right in half.
Oh, 100%.
So it sounds good. So I
Yeah.
think that as people are moving forward, we're going to want to go with the larger battery and the faster chargers, hands down.
Yeah, and again, it all depends on your local routes, right? I mean, and especially on the microbird side. And as a former transportation director, like I was in my district, I had more of my microbird buses going in, outside districts and for out of district runs. So they were obviously on the road much more than my larger buses were.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, I guess it just depends on where you're going, but you're 100% right. Downhill Arizona, 84-degree weather, you're going to get 200 miles on a charge. If you're looking at a day like this, I'm watching the snow fly and the heat is on, and yeah, you're gonna drop by, I'd say 15 to 20%.
Right, and that's where I think that the chargers, you almost have to go with the level 3. One of the things that we're looking at is, what if you do your morning run and then they cancel school because snow's going to be coming, and now you've got to take all these buses and go back out and pick up your kids and take them home. You just got off your run, so if you won't have the battery capacity to bring the kids home in an emergency.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're probably not going to want your entire infrastructure to be those level 3 chargers. You would probably only need maybe 2 of them or so, depending on the size of the district. And that's where your computer software comes into play on the back end, because you wouldn't want a level 3 charger running the entire time, because that's just going to do nothing but degrade your battery. So your degradation is going to go way down on that level 3 if you just stick with just a level 3 charger. So that's where that software management comes into play. It will actually only charge at a level 3 if it needs it, and then it'll run at a level 2 on the other end.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's important that the batteries remain charged. You also spoke about an 8-year warranty on the batteries. Now, does the duty cycle cut into that? So say you're backfeeding the grid. Every time that, from what I was told, is every time that's another duty cycle. So it's a duty cycle when you drive the bus in the morning. Then when you're backfeeding the grid, it's another duty cycle. So I didn't know, since last year, did the warranty change like that, where maybe they're not going by the duty cycles anymore?
No, so right now they still are. So it basically goes by your full charging cycle. So if you were at 20%, anything from 20% to that 100% mark would be a full complete cycle. So it just depends on, and again, that's where that software management comes in, to not use like your entire full cycle to be charged. So what we try to tell drivers is, when you come back from your morning run, plug your bus in. If it has 60% or 80, 70% left on the charge, plug it in. Don't let it get down to 10 to 20%, because if you do that, that's an entire charging cycle. So basically, if you're charging for 2 days at about, say, 60 to 70% or so, you're really only charging 1 day, one cycle, if you follow what I mean. So the more you can do that and use the the software to work for you, the better off you're going to be on that charge cycle.
Now the software goes with the charger, right? So it would depend on what type of charger that you get.
Correct. Yes. Yes. So your district, Dan, might not be the same as somebody else's district. So you know what you're running there might not be the same as maybe what Richard's running in Niskuna. You know, so it might be just a little bit different.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Moving forward, this is all valuable information. Like we said, the mandate is coming, so it's coming quick.
Yeah, yeah, and you know we'll keep you guys. You know, I try to tell everybody, you know, don't get mad if you get different information 10 minutes from now, because you know chances are it probably changed. You know, so you know we try to keep updated as much as we can, especially on the state level. So if we hear any more, if we come up with any more information, you know, we'll be sure to make sure it's shared with the group so you guys are informed.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions for Chuck? Anything at all? If you think of any, please email me the questions, or you can email Chuck directly. He's got his information up there. And but it's good that we all get to hear the questions and the answers so that we can make intelligent choices moving forward with the EVs.
100%.
Well, I want to thank you, Chuck, for your presentation.
Yes, sir.
You know, once again, it's always valuable information. The more we can get, the more we know, the better off, the better decisions we're going to be able to make as districts. So our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, December 17th, as of now. And I'm still waiting to hear back from our presenter. And I will keep everyone posted and updated as we get closer to that. We are still looking for training topics. So if there's any training topics that you guys want a meeting on and a presentation, please let me know and we can put one together. We're also looking for a vice president and a treasurer. Those are the two positions that we need, you know, going into this new era here. It's good to stay on top of this stuff, and we can use some help, you know, putting these things together. So with that being said, does anybody have anything else to add to today's meeting? Any questions or anything? All right, not seeing any, I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting. And this, if you want to review this information, it is recorded and we're going to put it on our YouTube channel. So we'll see you guys next month. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming.